Hello there, my name is Artie, and unlike the rest of the platform, I am not quitting YouTube today. Seriously, that generic excuse of a prank is so overdone by this point that even making fun of it is overdone. Anyway, if you didn't already know, it's April Fool's, which means it's time for me to tell you about something stupid I did once. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, for this video to make much sense, I need to give you a quick synopsis of Skylanders. It sounds a bit strange, but bear with me. About 3 or 4 months ago, I made an episode of AKA My Childhood about Skylanders, a Toys to Life series of games where you would collect figurines, which you could place on a portal device which would transport them into the game via NFC tags. So people who actively played the games would often have a large collection of these figurines, called Skylanders, to allow them to unlock extra stuff in-game. I was not an exception. Now, each game brought with it a bunch of new Skylanders, some normal, but some being a part of the game's new gimmick. So, for example, Imaginators had Imaginator crystals, which you could use to build your very own Skylander. Superchargers had cars, Trap Team had traps and trap masters, Swap Force had Skylanders you could mix and match, and Giants had, well, Giants. Giants was my personal favourite game, and I had a bunch of merch for it, including this portal platform, on which I could place my Skylanders Giants portal and 8 Skylanders of my choice. Obviously, you could place whichever figurines you want on there, but it was heavily implied that those slots were for the Giants. So, I put all of my Giants on there, and I was missing 2. Specifically, the Undead Giant Eyeball and the Magic Giant Ninjini. Even though I didn't need these 2 Skylanders for that upcoming video, I really wanted them to complete my collection and fill out that platform. So I sent out a call to some friends of mine asking if anyone was willing to sell me their beloved Skylanders. Fortunately for me, they were. After asking around, I found a friend of a friend who had Eyeball and who was willing to sell it to me for around $5 to $10, if I remember correctly. This transaction was, believe it or not, incredibly normal. I hand him the money, he hands me the Skylander, we shake hands, and I pretty much never see the guy again. Like I said, normal. Anyway, I still needed a Ninjini figurine, so I asked around again and managed to find someone who I promptly began negotiation with. And, as you can probably tell, this is where it gets weird. So, I managed to find this guy's Discord account and sent him a quick message to ask if he would be willing to sell his cherished Ninjini figurine. Good day. I've caught wind of the fact that you are in possession of a figurine depicting the character Ninjini from the hit game Skylanders Giants. This is one figurine that I do not own, and thus I am very interested in initiating trade with you in regards to this item. I propose that I give you $5 Australian in exchange for your normal, basic Ninjini figurine, as I know you are in possession of a more prestigious one that I am not interested in purchasing. Please respond as soon as you can with an acceptance, rebuttal, or denial to this trade offer. Thank you, Arthur, Artie B, William Alastair, Rutherford Thompson Brown III. Obviously, had to keep it formal. Can't have this guy thinking I'm some pleb that only knows words with less than 3 syllables. Anyway, I waited a while for a response, and got one not too long later.
Dear Mr. Brown, I've been instructed by my client, Mr. Charles William Alastair Rutherford Thompson, Esquire, to contact you with regard to your recent request to commence negotiations for his Ninjini figurine. Contrary to your assumption, both Ninjini figurines in his possession are more prestigious, having been family heirlooms for years. We draw this to your attention as information pertinent to these negotiations. We note that your initial offer is below market rates. Although our client will consider an offer of $30 or above, he's willing to negotiate because of the existing relationship. We await your correspondence in due time. Yours sincerely, Mr. J. Sorrow, Senior Partner, Henchman, Sorrow and Cringe Solicitors.
Not exactly what I was hoping for. I only had like 10 smackies, which was pretty significantly lower than 30. Bad news for me. Fortunately though, I did have a bunch of other Skylanders and an 18 in Fast Talk, so it was time to start negotiating. Good day, Mr. Sorrow. Thank you for your quick response. I've considered your client's offer of $30 plus Australian dollars and have decided this is far too steep a price. I understand that the Ninjini figurine in question is a family heirloom, however I wholeheartedly believe that $30 is a price that cannot be reached at the current time. While I may not be able to live up to your current expectations in terms of pricing, I am more than willing to pay between 5 and 10 Australian dollars, plus a figurine of your choice from the provided list below. 3-Rex, Hothead, Flashwing, Blades, and a Funny Bone. While these are currently the only Skylanders owned by myself being offered as part of the trade, I am willing to negotiate on different Skylanders from my collection. In conclusion, I will happily provide 5 to 10 Australian dollars, as well as any Skylander from the above list, in exchange for your client's Ninjini figurine. Thank you, Arthur Artie B. William Alastair Rutherford Thompson Brown III. So, I sent that off, and the guy didn't respond for 4 days. It wasn't looking good. So I decided to follow up, and of course, had to keep it formal. Hello Mr. Sorrow. I was just hoping to follow up on my previous message, as I have yet to receive a reply from you, your client, or any other associated parties regarding the proposed trade offer. I would like to remind you that my offer of $5 to $10 in addition to a Skylander from the list provided in my previous message still stands. Thank you, Arthur Artie B. William Alastair Rutherford Thompson Brown III. After that, the guy finally responded to me.
Dear Mr. Brown, thank you for your recent correspondence dated 3rd of September. With regard to your offer, my client would like to propose $15 and Flashwing, Skylanders Giants, in return for his heirloom Ninjini figurine. This is a halving of the original proposal, and we hope you will see this in a reasonable light given the increase in inflation in the last quarter. Yours sincerely, Mr. J. Sorrow, Senior Partner, Henchman Sorrow and Cringe Solicitors.
Not bad. I'd managed to get down the price to only half of what it was before. However, I was still poor, so I needed to crack my knuckles, put my head down, and negotiate even further. So, after a bit of market research, I came up with this. Good day, Mr. Sorrow. I hope you are having a pleasant evening. Unfortunately, I still do not believe your offer is valid in today's market. After a large amount of market research into the selling prices of both the Flashwing and Ninjini figurines, I have come to the conclusion that the figurines are being sold for roughly $10 and roughly $15 respectively. Therefore, I would like to counter your offer with one of my own. With this market research in mind, I should be offering you the Flashwing figurine as well as 5 Australian dollars. However, due to the existing relationship, as well as the fact that the Ninjini figurine is, as you described, a family heirloom, I'm willing to offer you the Flashwing figurine and $7.50, although I am willing to negotiate up to a maximum of $10. I hope you find this offer entirely reasonable, as I certainly do. Thank you, Arthur Artie B. William Alastair Rutherford Thompson Brown III. And finally, I got a response not too long later, and it was exactly what I was hoping for.
Dear Mr. Brown, thank you for your prompt and detailed reply. I've been instructed by my client to accept your offer of $10 Australian and the Flashwing figurine. My client has spent considerable funds on therapy to emotionally disconnect his psyche from this treasured heirloom. The welfare of this figurine is of such value to him that as a further condition of sale, he requires an undertaking from you that his Ninjini figurine be kept safe from all fire, excessive water, unsecured electric current, psychologically damaging language, and any other dangerous or potentially damaging situations. My client proposes an early settlement date within the coming week, which I look forward to finalizing with you in the near future. Yours sincerely, Mr. J. Sorrow, Senior Partner, Henchman Sorrow and Cringe Solicitors.
Banger! I'd somehow managed to negotiate a figurine with an initial price of $30 down to $10 and a Skylander I didn't particularly care about anyway. You heard it here first, folks. I'm the best negotiator, maybe ever. FBI hire me. So now, it was time for the transaction. I arranged a meeting spot for us to do the deal and met the seller the next day. And let me tell you, I genuinely did not predict what happened next. I should have with this guy's previous track record, but I didn't. That's probably on me. So, I show up at the meeting spot and wait for the guy. He comes in with his brother, one of my friends, and promptly slaps, get this, a whole-ass 4-page legal contract on the table. Hold on, let me find it. Okay, alright. I'm not about to read through all of this because it's full of like actual legal jargon, but I'll quickly summarize it. Okay. So this is the contract. Sales agreement. The sales agreement, the agreement dated this day, 7th of September 2022, between the seller and me. Sale of goods, brand Ninjini, model treasured heirloom, colour multicolored, serial. I don't know where he got that from, but okay. The buyer will accept the goods and pay for the goods with a sum of 10 Australian dollars. The purchase price paid by cash plus Firewing figurine as required in clause 5 of this agreement. Let's head to clause 5, shall we? Ignore that. It's not important. Okay, clause 5. Not important. Okay, there we go. Payment. The buyer will make payment for the goods at the time when and at the place where the goods are received by the buyer, or in the alternative, when any document of title or registrable bill of sale bearing any necessary endorsement is tendered to the buyer. I consider myself very verbose, and I don't know what that means. Some stuff in caps there. There was also inspection. Pretty funny. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. So, he and I both signed the contract, and I got the nearest willing person to do so as witness. And then gave him the dosh and the Skylander, finally getting the prestigious Ninjini figurine after what must have been like 2 weeks of negotiation. Nowadays, I have the Ninjini figurine proudly displayed on my desk as a reminder of this insane series of events. Oh, and if anyone was wondering, here's what the Portal platform looks like with all 8 giants on it. Worth it. Anyway, thanks heaps for watching. If you've enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you at some point in the future. Goodbye.